Welcome to the village. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Rise, CEO and founder of the Village Leadership Group, LLC. And I'm joined by, listen, I'm excited. Y'all got to help me welcome Fantastic Four member, Principal Josh Tovar. Woo!
Woo! Thanks. Hey, Ross, thank you
Welcome,
for having me
Josh.
here. Appreciate that.
Thank you for coming. Those of you who are tuning in, we have Josh Tovar here to talk about strategies for establishing a culture for learning. That's right. We are about positive cultures. As you guys know, the village is all about professional learning communities, right? And making sure teachers are coming together and school leaders, everyone's coming together to build a collaborative culture. But before we do that, we also need to focus on our students. Everything we do is for our students. So, how do we establish a collaborative, positive culture for our students? One that our students are excited to come to school every day. They want to learn, they want to persevere, they have grit, they have stamina, and they're just excited to be in the building. So that's why Josh Tovar is here because he's all about caring for his students and doing whatever it takes for his students to succeed. Principal Josh Tovar, I want you to reintroduce yourself to the village. Of course, most of us know you, right? But go ahead and tell us, who is Josh Tovar?
Well, thank you, Ross, for having me here. I'm honored and humbled that you invited me, starting off the show with this lonely little guy from Texas, been in the system for 32 years right now. And I'm currently the principal at Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland, ISD, Garland, USA, where I'm supporting a small campus of emerging bilingual students and at-risk youth that were not successful at the comprehensive schools. So we know that all our kids within our home, our little home, require that extra TLC, that extra SLC, that loving care because of the adversity. So it's kind of hard to learn English, your second language, when you just walked from El Salvador. You feel me? It's kind of hard to focus on A squared plus B squared equals C squared when you're a teen parent or you face adversity, self-created adversity because you violated the law and you find yourself with some charges. And it's kind of hard to focus on Thomas Jefferson and writing a Declaration of Independence. So us as the adults on campus need to make sure that we don't establish it as a regular house, but as a house of learning, but as a home where it's surrounded by Linus blankets. You know Linus from the Peanuts cartoons? You know that
Yes.
Linus blanket that provided them comfort. So it's those things that we need to do to make sure that we provide them that trust, that love to come into our home. Because you know what? Everyone will tell you, reach out to all the brain research. We're still with the
Mhm.
caveman brain. We're still in the fight or flight tone right here. It doesn't matter what situation. If I put you right now, you right there in Iowa, if I put you to give a speech in front of 500 people, you know what? Your brain is in fight or flight. That
Mhm.
student that has always been wearing his hoodie since seventh grade and has always been picked on and sent to the assistant principal's office because he walks around and not picking up his pants. He knows only one thing, that the system has always put him in a fight or flight moment. What does that mean? Either they fight you, talk back at you, cuss at you, or they ditch school. So us as adults, we need to do something that changes that mentality, rewires it, because those kids that come to us, it doesn't matter where, again, that kid that just crossed the water from Mexico to the United States, they're already in fight or flight mode just by the environment of not having food, leaving their country. That student right there that has a baby and they're 17, a baby raising a baby, they're in fight or flight. They're like, oh, do you remember changing diapers? Do you remember doing the milk? Lord, guys,
Yeah, I remember. It was a long time ago, but I remember.
it's
It's
hard.
a
It's
lot.
difficult.
It's
And are you
hard. It's
gonna
a lot.
worry? Are you, Dr. Ross? Are you gonna worry about writing a paragraph?
Not at
Unpersuasive?
all.
When you got to change a diaper, your baby was sick? No. So what are we doing as educators to meet them where they're at? Like Principal Cafela states, it's so true. SEL is not another thing, it's what we should have always been doing. And that's what COVID did,
Mhm.
according to, and it's true what Jimmy Costa says. COVID just accentuated the reality before because we had all these problems. Those problems have never been gone.
Right.
The 1980s factory style system, it's still here right now. We didn't change it. We got Canvas now. We got more apps to use, but we're going back to what we've been
Plenty.
used to. We always refer back to how we were taught. So it's those things that we need to do as a collective. But it all starts and ends alpha and omega with our chairs. The principal of the campus is the one that needs to role model the expectation. We need to make sure that we have a vision for everybody. You just don't say it. You can't, Principal Cafeli, you cannot fake the funk. You need to do what you expect others to do and then some, because you need to role model how to run the play. You're the coach of that staff. And you just can't say, hey, meet the kids nice when you're stuck in your office. Hey, be nice to the kids when you ignore them at the baseball game or the football game. No, it's you need to be selective, focused on what your culture and your vision is, sitting either as the assistant principal or as the principal, because our chairs determine what it goes by. As again, Principal Cafela says, show me you're the leader without being in the room. You have
Right.
to show me.
Right.
So what does that mean? What do the walls speak about your vision? What do the adults relationship interaction with the kids say about your leadership? If you're not there, is it still happening? Is there still a pattern of behavior? So I can let you know that the things that, and please, follow me, my X, remember it's not called Twitter, it's no more, it's called X. My X handles right there. You guys can go take some of the stuff that we use at our humble home and implement it. But it's about consistency. It's about patterns of behavior. Because let me tell you, nobody likes when you do one nice thing and you stop it. Teacher Appreciation
Mm.
Day
Be
or
consistent.
Teacher Appreciation Week, no one, oh yeah, they're happy that you gave them a sandwich and a pen with the school's name. But you know what? It's not about a day, it's about always. We started Hispanic Heritage Month. It's not about honoring Hispanics only a month. It's about honoring them all year long.
All the
African
time.
American Month, Women Heritage Month, Irish American Month. It's about honoring all of us and establishing that by the chair. The main chair needs to establish this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Let me show you what the expectation is. Let me show you what my rubric for my vision is. So the things that we do at Memorial, it's a small school, but let me tell you, it's something that we did at my previous campus. At the previous school that I had the honor of serving, we walked in with a stereotypical Hollywood movie. It was the worst rated high school. It was a D minus high school. It had an 81% graduation rate, 81 with
Wow.
2,550 kids. That was 19% of those kids didn't walk. Okay. Let's get together here.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me.
Break it down.
2,550 kids, 81% graduation rate. 19% of those kids didn't graduate. Where did they go? Oof.
Right. Right.
So what are we doing to establish that? So we created patterns of behavior of honoring everybody. The very first thing that we did when we arrived there, in the 3 years that our leadership team was there, we did over 1,000 home visits. The very first thing that we did when we got there was honoring the kids that passed at the mastery level their state assessment. And we went knocking at the doors. Hey, and they're like, who's that? They've never seen me before. I was a brand new principal. I didn't know you, but I loved what you did for yourself. You role modeled academic excellence. And we were chased by dogs. We went into vacant lots. We went into crazy things. But you know what? We started sending the word out that we love you. And as I always say, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Care.
And you got to make sure that you make it relevant and purposeful, the acknowledgement. You need to tell them, we're here because you passed this exam at the highest level in the state of Texas. And then from that point on, we continued the celebrations, because when you have this huge monolith that's a 2,500 school, you have to acknowledge all the successes, because you get lost in the noise.
Right.
And thanks to a beautiful team of educators at that school, thanks to a beautiful team of support staff, thanks to a beautiful team of administrators, everybody, within 3 years, that went from a D- school to a B- school, from an 81% graduation rate to a 90% graduation rate in 3 years.
Wow.
So I'm letting you know that whatever I present to you, please take it, use it, because it's time tested. Now, here it goes. As Principal Cafele says, I don't fake the funk. High school people, yes.
Thank you.
The elementary stuff does work.
It works
It
for high school as well.
Stop fighting it. Decorating your doors, it helps. Giving the kids a pencil on their birthday helps. Giving the kids the darn sticker. The sticker.
Thank you. They like stickers.
They want the
I've been
sticker.
telling people that.
And just because you don't like giving the sticker does not mean that the kid don't like it. And don't forget, educator, we're not in the biology business. We're not in the algebra business. We're not in the history business. We're not in the science business. We're in the people business. We're in the kid business. And that's our customer right there. Our customer wants to know that they're loved, honored, and respected, and that we are that Linus blanket. We're there for them 24/7, because you know what? Some of those kids really get attached to us 24/7. Ask that to a football coach. Hey, football coach, don't you have that kid with you like 19 hours a day? Hey, hey, orchestra teacher, that first chair violin, you know, hey, drum major in charge of a big band or a little band. Hey, what's going on? Isn't that band director always with them? We spend sometimes more of our lives with other people's kids than with our own. And those people right there are doing it for the love of music, for the love of the art, and a lot of people for the love of the school system. But you know what? We're losing sight of that. And that's what's happening with this exodus. That's what's happening with this exodus as people are departing our profession. For whatever reason, they're leaving it. So it goes back to what, and even what Coach Hurt said, it starts and ends with the main chair and what you establish repeatedly, that people believe in you and your vision. They don't believe in words, they believe in actions. And people want to see a pattern of behavior of success, and they want to see you role model it.
Right. Now, I want to stop you for 1 second, Principal Tovar, because you said a lot so far, and I want to just recap some of the things that you've shared. One of the things that I know for sure, because I follow you on social media, all the X, everything, Instagram, Facebook, I follow you, and I see what you're doing. So the personal touches, sending out cards and celebrations to students. I love that you're mailing things. You mentioned home visits. That's something that we do as well at my school. Of course, we're a smaller school as well, so we're able to do that, but even the large schools can do that. You take your staff, divide and conquer, and that's what we do. So we have small teams going out into the community and meeting with families. And I love what you're saying. You know, again, those personal touches makes a difference. So when we talk about, you know, the obstacles that we face in the schools, we can combat those obstacles if we're doing the work to build positive environments for our students and doing, like you said, doing the things that matter, doing the things that really going to connect with those students, especially if we know that they're going through some trauma, they've had some things going on in their lives and hurdles. So we're going to have to build relationships with the students. It makes sense. You know, SEL, like you said, is not new. This should have been our priority all the time. Loving students, caring for students. When was the last time you heard a principal or a teacher tell a student, hey, I love you, I'm here for you, I care about you? Simple. So I want to hear from you. You know, do you tell your students that you care?
Every morning on morning announcements, I have a closing remark. Never give up. Surround yourself with successful people, champions. The sum of the 5 people around you will be what will tell your future. Accomplish your daily goals. Write them down. Don't create obstacles for yourself. And that's why I tell them, turn off your cell phone. I don't want to see dress code violations. I do all that because I love you. We love you. You're the future of this country. And we tell you this because life has its own obstacles. You don't need to add to that. So today, make it the best day of your life. Make it so great that Sunday gets jealous. Jaguars, go conquer. That's how we finish every single last day in the morning announcements.
Awesome.
They need to hear it from my chair. They always need to hear that because that's my vision and I need to role model it. And hopefully that keeps on going, transferring throughout the whole bloodstream of the campus.
Right. Now you mentioned Principal Kafele, and that's one of the things he talks about, again, the principal supposed to set the tone. You say that as well about building your brand. Your vision should be seen on the walls, and we should feel it when you walk through the doors, right?
Yes.
But what about those principals who say, I don't need to be on the morning announcements. I don't have to be at the door every day because I'm busy doing X, Y, and Z. And I want the students to be on the announcements. What do you say to that, school leader?
This is what I say to you. We all have a style. You know what, Dr. Ross? We all know the recipe for good leadership. And some of us believe we have the recipe, but some of us are short a couple of ingredients. And let me tell you, we all know how to reach that point. And we've seen it by our predecessors. We've seen it on social media, on books that we've read. We've all seen what success is. As a famous football coach once said, your record speaks for who you are. Your record speaks for who you are as a team. So if that person's vision, that person's way of being is creating a healthy environment, it's creating a positive academic successful story for the community. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby. But you know what? If you are at a 70, I tell my kids in morning announcements, our students, our Jaguars, I don't wake up to suck. I wake up to be the best version of myself. I wake up to be a champion. And so if that principal feels that they're at an A level by not talking to their kids every day, who am I to judge? Hey, there's only one man that judges, baby. There's only one man that will ever judge us all. But I could only let you know, let what your records say, that will speak for you. So yes, I've heard that before. I've heard that. And you know what? On the contrary, there's some toxicity amongst administrators. You know that. Just like some teachers amongst, that's a reality. That's the thing that Sir Giovanni didn't talk about in his books. Let me tell you, some people say, oh, you just like the spotlight. Oh, you just want the fame. No, baby. That is our vision. And you know what? You know who a great example of this is, Roz? There's this guy called Prime Time. There is this guy that went to an HBCU school that was in the gutter and brought his street cred. He went and he brought that street cred and he built up a nothing to a champion. And haters in the HBCU attacked him. They said, you ain't HBCU. His own peeps said that. Haters, because he was spanking them by holding everyone accountable, but role modeling the expectation. He said, I am here to create young men that are just beyond football. You know what? That projected his vision to now at the next level. He took over a program that was 1-11, and now he's 3-0. The most viewed football program ever, stats for Colorado University, again. And what are they doing? They're still knocking him. They're still talking ill of him.
Yep.
And all he's doing is that he don't fake the funk. He says it straight out. He had that confrontation with a Colorado State coach this last week. That other gentleman said was speaking ill of him. Don't matter. He showed them where the score is, where the record is. So, hey, Dr. Ross, you asked me, what do I say about others? I got enough problems on my campus, but I know that where I've been at, it's been successful.
Right.
So, as education is, we all beg, borrow, and steal from each other, and we make it our own. We create our own little jambalaya, our own little gumbo of success. And baby, if you're at a D campus and you go to an F, or if you were at a B campus and you turned it into a D, your leadership needs to be reevaluated. And you cannot blame anybody else but the person in the mirror, because you applied for that job. You knew that you were going into a D school. You knew that you were going into an A school. And after the interview, you prayed. You prayed to the Lord. You said, please, let me go to the second round. Please let the superintendent call me. And then you get the call. You know you're still applying for a D school. You know you're applying for a C school. You know you're applying for an A school. Everything in the end comes down to what you bring to the table. No one wants to hear what was before you. I hired you to maintain or improve. So you cannot complain. Bring your vision. If your stats say you're that person, you go, boo. You be you. All I can say is judge the book by its cover in regards to the report card grade of that leader.
Love it. Love it. And I have to talk to the teachers as well, because you definitely have to be a change agent in your school. You just can't say, well, I'm gonna just worry about the students in my class. Go out there, be a change agent, find other teachers that think like you, who want to turn the school around and work on building that culture and changing that culture around. Again, I used to be, when I was a new teacher, I used to just focus on my students. But then I looked around, I'm like, wait a minute, we need to work together again and being the change that I wanted to see for my students. So, again, for the teachers, find those other teachers, find out what strategies work. And again, like Josh said, still borrow the best practices so that you can connect with the students. And again, just be real, be authentic, and again, be there for your students. Show up at a basketball game if your student is on the team. Be there. Just simple things. Talk to the students and find out what they're doing on the weekend. Again, you're building that community, that sense of community in your classroom, and the students know, listen, my teacher cares about me. When you learn the students' names, it's still the beginning of the school year. And what we're about a month or so in, Josh, and some teachers probably still don't know their students' names. So again, just small things can make a big difference. So again, I just want to talk to the teachers. I know Josh is giving strategies for the principals and the administrators, but we all have to do our part to make sure that our students are excited about learning and they feel that, the people that they see every day care about them and want the best for them. Yeah. Josh, what you got to say?
Roz, let me tell you, it's the little things that matter for people, the consistent little things. So let's take it from our team member in the classroom point of view. What does that classroom say about you? If it's an ICU room, if it's just sterile, you've been sadly into ICU rooms, cold, nothing on the walls. That in itself goes again to the brain, fight or flight, right? So if a kid comes in sluggish, we know them. They're all over. They've never stopped. They walk in, and you walk into a dead room that has no life, no motivational posters, has nothing going for itself. They're going to act the way you set up your stage. And so the very first thing, teacher in the classroom, have an inviting environment. Have a classroom that has student workup. Go by, I am a share stock owner in Dollar Tree.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
I love Dollar Tree. And I got very upset. It went to $1.25. How dare you? And the balloons, $1.50. How dare you?
Oh, wow.
Exactly, right? But you know what? In the end, you buy those little knickknacks, whatever you want to do it, and you just surround the room with them. If it's their birthday at the Dollar Tree, they sell $50, 50 those little designs of a cake. Put the
Mhm.
kid's birthday on there. Whoever got A honor roll, put the kids A honor roll for a quiz. Put it outside the door. Accentuate the positive. It's
Mhm.
those little things that people will want to go. Let me tell you, Ross. You asked who was Josh. Josh was a horrible high school student. I was a drunkard in high school. I used to ditch every semester at least 30 days. I was that kid.
Wow.
I would never go. I graduated the bottom of my class. I'm not proud of it, but I learned from that. My past
Right.
did not define my future. But let me tell you, the reason I'm saying this is because there were certain times, and not that many, but there were certain times that there were some teachers I appreciated, not liked, appreciated, and I wouldn't ditch
Exactly.
for their class, because they kind of made me feel okay to where I wouldn't ditch all day. I would go late to school, go to third period, and then go get drunk. I'm not proud of
Mhm.
it. That's the fact. I'm not lying about it. But the thing is,
Right.
those individuals allowed me to feel a little comfort through the nonsense I was going through as a student. And so I was self-medicating. I was, because of all my issues that I
Mhm.
had, and that's a separate show. That's like a 10-hour show. I don't think you got
Right.
enough time for that. But it's about connecting with those kids, making them feel welcome. So set the room up with motivational posters, whatever your audience is. Obviously, every audience is different. Acknowledge their birthdays, acknowledge their academic growth and success. And most importantly, we've all heard this study. We've all heard this study. And if you haven't heard it, here it goes. I'm going to give it to you caveman style. If you greet them at the door, they're going to be more likely to like you and be with you. Greet them at the door every single last time. This caveman, every morning for the last, whatever, whenever COVID started, and I'm at a memorial, every morning as they're getting off the bus. Good morning, Vietnamese, si chao, Chinese, ni hao, whatever it might be. Greet them every morning, because you know what? With that positive seed in their brain, hopefully germinates throughout the whole day. So, what are
Right.
you doing, educator? What are you doing, administrator? That at the very start of the day, you're injecting positivity through the bloodstream of your campus.
Love it. Love it. Listen, Josh, I can pick your brain all day long. You know, I love learning all of the tips and gems. I steal everything you say and do. And like you said, I just steal from it and make my own jambalaya, and my improve my leadership. So I appreciate you, Josh, for all that you do, and for always showing up and sharing your wisdom and expertise with folks like myself. I'm a newbie in the game, and I just appreciate you and the Fantastic Four. Thanks again. Tell the folks about Unlock the Middle. I want to hear about that. Of course, I know because I always participate. So tell the folks how to join and
It,
follow.
it, it is it's an educators podcast created by Dean Packard and Chris Sarcheski. Sorry, my Hispanic gets in the way, and with those blue blood names. And the whole thing is that they created this program, and it's about educators learning and engaging, and most importantly, sending out the wisdom that they have acquired. We're always looking for guests from all over. We're like getting from all over the world now. Okay, we've had from the
Yeah.
Philippines. We're about to ask them from the Trinidad and Tobago. We're gonna have, because you know what? We're still in the same business. We're still in the kid business. So we have 3 shows. Thank you very much for asking that. The flagship
Yeah.
show takes place on Sundays. Normally it's speakers and authors, to where you get a little bit of an idea of what that vision is for that book, or if you want to bring a speaker to your campus or your district, we provide for you that information. It happens at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's normally like an hour show. We highly invite all of you. If you know anybody, you have a book, reach out to me. You got my X handle right there, and then we could book you for that. We just started tonight, Tuesday. We have a 20-minute problem solving show. It's called Office Hours. Just like in college, you better find that teacher during their office hours to resolve your issue. That's the whole purpose behind office hours. It's 20 minutes. We throw out a scenario that's real world. that it actually has happened. And all of the
Yes.
individuals in the roundtable suggest how they will resolve it. So, hey, South Dakota, I know you just got hired. You assistant principal in South Dakota, I know you just got hired. Join us for office hours, because all of these scenarios are real world
They
examples,
are.
and it's an idea of how you should address it. And then Thursday, the red zone. The red zone, and both shows, the red zone and office hours at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's normally a round table. It's either a leadership round table, a superintendent's round table, special ed round table, emergent bilingual round table. It's everything. We have like-minded individuals talking
Mhm.
about that concept. And these are the great ideas that Dean came up with, Chris came up with, and they put this all together, invite folks out, and they've done a great job with these three shows, and it's just grown. It's grown from 500 views. Some of our shows now, or some of their shows now, are at over 10,000 views. And so it's a great platform, because it's not so much anything other than us learning from us, because iron sharpens iron. So I highly invite you to join us for the flagship show on Sunday at 7 p.m. for office hours starting tonight, season 2, 20-minute problem solving show, and the red zone from 9 p.m. Eastern on our show based on different topics.
Love it. Love it. Well, thanks again, Josh. I'm always tuning in as well. So, because I want to learn. So I'm taking notes. Exactly. So listen, guys, again, thanks for tuning in with the village. We're all about coming together to share ideas, strategies, to learn from one another. Again, it takes a village to build strong teachers, leaders, schools, and communities. So we want you to join the village. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Village LG. Join our village. Again, like Josh says, we welcome ideas. We welcome you to join the village live. If you can be sitting in that chair where Josh is, and we can be picking your brain. So again, we welcome you to join the village. Come and learn, come and share. That's what we're all about.
Ross,
Again,
Ross,
yes, yes,
Ross.
sir.
I want to say it with you, but I forgot it. I want to see the
I'm
line.
not going to say it yet, but it takes teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. So I'm gonna let you say it. But first, before
Well,
I say that, we got to talk about the book, Josh. Set Your Team on Fire: The 3 Elements of a Professional Learning Community. My girl, my sister, Coach Williams, is normally here with me, but she's busy being a mom of twins. Rashad is playing football, and Naya doing cheerleading, so she's busy. But again, you can get our book. It's all about professional learning communities and how teachers help build collaborative school cultures. And we also have a course that goes along with the book. Again, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more information. Again, follow us, and we'll check out the Village Live next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. And Josh, you ready? And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset.
not a position.
Josh, you got it. And not a position. Thank you, Josh. Fantastic 4 in the house.